Hello, YouTube. All right. I don't need that. Got my notes. And once we get live with Instagram, we have some updates. I want to let you know of a couple things. Um, and uh, yeah, now I can't remember one of them. Okay. All right. Thanks for being on. I'm gonna be really good with the chat. Okay. So come on. I know mostly we have, Instagram comes on quite a bit more than our YouTubers are. Hello, welcome, welcome, Clarity family, or Clutter-free family to the Clarity Hotline. I'm Yvette, your host. We're gonna talk about so many things. We got to talk. I have a couple of updates, or at least some insights that I'd like to share. I want to get everybody's opinion on the matter because and then then we'll come into the space and we will uh get some clarity on some questions that came through, and then of course I will prioritize questions that come on live, and then we can always make sure that we answer all the pre-submitted questions, um you know throughout the the future calls. Okay, so don't worry, you will get your question answered. Okay, so first, I just have to just bring this up because the other day, my nose was attacked by my son. So my son like lifts his head up and I'm like right over him and he hits my nose and it like goes, I don't know what, I didn't think it was broken, but it like, gets bumped. But I was thinking, wow, that really hurt. Like it takes you back. It's like, and it still is sore. It's still sore. So I'm like, why do people opt in for this kind of pain? Like they go into martial arts and they get into, MMA, fighting, wrestling, whatever. And I mean anything. Where I'm trying to put my son into kung fu right now. Like I'm choosing to put him into kung fu for the pain. Like what do I want? I want him to be stronger, obviously, and be able to, handle himself in a fight, I guess. But ultimately, yeah, self-defense. It's for self-defense. But it's like when you watch UFC fights and MMA, it's like, why are they choosing to get hurt and punched in the nose? I don't think they are. I don't think we are choosing pain, but are we? Are we choosing pain? I think so. I think since we're always at choice, we are on some level choosing pain, you know, over pleasure. Like we're choosing to wallow in despair and angst and self pity and tragedy and all of the things that bring us down, which actually goes into a couple questions that came through. And I think we'll kind of tie that in. But I'm just like, it hurts. My nose hurt really bad when it happened. I'm like, this, I can only imagine what boys when they fight, do and how bad it must hurt. And yeah, I was just like, this is, I don't understand. I'm here by submitting my son to this type of torture? Like, what am I doing? But here I am choosing for him, essentially putting him in kung fu because I want him to have discipline, learn to focus, learn to kind of take instruction from like I'm choosing a male instructor, like a male figure, like a in that position that's different than daddy, it's like this is different, right? There's like a coach, um and that type of instruction is different. So I want him exposed to that. Obviously, I want my boys to have that background. Even my brother says it would be great for them. And then martial arts, particularly, is a great like self-defense course, and just learning your body and what it can do and how to use minimal effort in taking down your opponent, to protect yourself. But then also kind of in the midst of a fight, you could get really hurt, and, yeah, I think it's just a matter of time that we're gonna see some broken bones and stuff, so I think that just comes with the territory of being kinda rough and tumble like they are, and like I'm experiencing most boys are. Not all boys, not all boys, But I definitely see that side of them, like when we're at the park and the boys all play together, and I could see that distinct behavior is different than their female counterparts, right? But yeah, you got some rough and tumble chicks too. So I think we have both. Um, but yeah, there is kind of this side of us that's willing to risk the pain in order to, I guess, come out the victor, right? The winner. I'm willing to go this route because I ultimately choose to better myself in the area of fitness or awareness or um, agility, right? Strength, because I want to come out on top in this regard. And and this is just like a starting point. I mean, he's going to find so much more things, beyond kung fu, beyond jujitsu, beyond karate, taekwondo, however you choose, Muay Thai, whatever you ultimately choose for your child. I think we all kind of want the same thing, right? We want the discipline, the self-discipline, the self-awareness, kind of tuning from within this, and navigating the world. I think we're hoping for that, but in the midst of that, sometimes, we're gonna get hurt. I just had to vent on that because I was like, that did not feel good. I did not want to get hit in my nose. Okay, so let's come into the space. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And as many times as you need to, just to rinse out what's kind of bottled up inside, might be causing you some anxiety or tension, just breathing in and clearing it out and making space for what's to come. But yeah, and then even, I mean, move the body, roll the shoulders, roll the head, the neck, all of that, just to get into the space. I like to sit on the floor for these. I like to stand too. I think standing is a really good thing for me to stand while I work. But on these particular calls, I like to be on the floor and kind of get comfortable and as we clear ourselves of clutter. Yeah, it feels conducive to what we're doing here. Okay, so let's get to our questions. Oh, wait, no, I have a couple of announcements. One, oh, today is the final day to register for this cohort closing today at midnight for the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Mom. So if you are an entrepreneur mom or you're an aspiring entrepreneur mom, um, then you will want to be in this mastermind. So it's for entrepreneur moms. We are all about just balance across the board, across home life, right? Family life and business life and career, and managing kind of the systems that support us in doing both, right? Without the struggle of the juggle, to feel very like we got this, and the minute things feel like they're unraveling, we come back and we know like what we have and what matters most. And we come back to that truth that we've discovered for ourselves. So it's big in self-awareness. Working with me, we're going to come into self-awareness. We're going to come into extreme clarity about your life, your goals, the vision for your future, and really for the present moment. I think you will find that when you have a vision and it's crystal clear, like there's no escaping the feeling of that today. When you're clear on the vision, you see it and you feel it today. So I always say, like, don't write a goal that doesn't feel good now. Don't think that you're going to work your way to feeling better tomorrow because you're risking or hustling today. Like, you won't ever get there, because the spirit that you're doing anything today is what attracts more of that same feeling. So we want to operate in the feelings we want to nurture, actually. So when you're clear on how you want to build your business, then you're not going to tolerate um, things that don't put you in the state of mind or the state of being of like purpose and joy and fulfillment, right? All the things we start the business for, freedom, um, time with our families. If it's compromising that and it's stealing time from us, we're going to immediately know. Right. And then we're going to go back to our systems, our structure, that simple foundation that we've said at the beginning. I'm an entrepreneur turned mom, so my experience is a little bit different in business because I was already an entrepreneur before I had kids, but I recognized immediately once I had kids, like things have got to change in my business. And it was always a really simple business. I kept myself lean and flexible. I want to be location independent. I traveled around the world with a laptop. Particularly through Brazil, running my business. And that's how I want to be. I think that I don't know, it just taught me so much about minimalism and staying light on my feet and in my mind. It taught me about like why we cling and hoard and grip so tightly to the stories that we think keep us safe when really sometimes all they're keeping us in is struggle. So, yeah, just inviting you to kind of look at that for yourself. Inside the mastermind, we go very deep. So you think like, oh, yeah, it's just about business, right? We're masterminding about my business and how to make money. Yeah, for sure. We're definitely profitable. But there is also like what we don't want to neglect is like presence, being present with what is, being present with our families, our babies, these precious moments that we don't want to really miss, right? And I think a lot of mom guilt, especially, comes when we feel like we are missing out on something with our kids, or we're not being there for them, or we're inadequate. We're feeling inadequate, like we're not doing enough, being enough. And so that can sit heavy on the mind of a mother and cause her not to do her most creative work, to yeah, not not hold true to her boundaries and say yes to things that she doesn't want to do just out of guilt, honestly. There's so much that comes up for school, like just in my little experience of having a kid enrolled in school, the institution has a lot of updates, right? Uh, the system and the structure that they have for you may not necessarily jive with yours, right? They're going to want you to be part of this meeting and come to this and that and be part of PTA and submit and fund this fundraiser and be part of this bake sale and bring with your kid all this stuff. And it's really good. What's good about that is you want to be involved with your kids. I want to be involved with my kids, but on my terms. I don't want to necessarily do everything the school is telling me to do. I want to be present with what my terms are, right? For my kids, my family. And so it doesn't mean going to every single meeting, every single PTA meeting, and funding every bake sale. Like it doesn't mean that. I've got my priorities in check. I'm very aligned with like what matters most. And especially like developmentally speaking, kids need different things at different times from their parents. And the dynamic will ebb and flow, right? I'll be at every jogathon probably. I will probably give to every jogathon. I will be at every parent meeting, back to school night, conference. I will be there because that is part of how I wanna show up for my kids and really show up as a mother, because what it gives me is my backbone. What it gives me is my awareness. What it gives me is my knowledge to go into meetings with teachers, superintendents, whatever you name it, principals, and have a really fair, equal discussion because I've educated myself. I've kept myself on the up and up as far as what's going on with education, what I want for my boys, what I maybe see is lacking there, or what I think is stellar, right? What I think they're excelling in. I'll be the first to give a compliment and a thank you card and a gift card. So anyway, right? Yeah, it's just about coming on your terms. And when you're satisfying, right, life on your terms, oh my gosh, life is so good. It feels so good. It feels so grand, so blissful, so joyful, so expansive. And I mean, this is the kind of stuff we're talking about. This is the kind of stuff that you're discovering for yourself and creating in your life and your business inside the Mastermind for Entrepreneur Moms. So I would be remiss if I didn't tell you that today the cohort that we're currently filling up is closing today. So the good news is you have a chance to submit your application, and still it buys you some time to sit with me on a call. So it gives you access to book time with me. We could talk a little bit about it here on the live. We could talk about it one-on-one on a call with me because I've opened up my calendar for people who are inquiring about the mastermind and want to just see if it's a good fit and talk to me. And then at the same time, you'll walk away with what I call a clarity launch plan, even if we decide not to work together. A clarity launch plan is a 90-day blueprint for what you want, like where you are now and where you want to go, everything you want to do, right, in your business, how to make it happen in 90 days. And so we're going to, you know, you're going to have that basically step by step guide, because that's ultimately kind of what we're launching from within the mastermind. So in a way, you kind of got like a free course out of the time with me. That's kind of how I see it, because we're working on that, and that's launching the 6 months inside the program, this cohort. So everybody's kind of at different paces or places in their business within the cohort, and then you inside this cohort are starting after another cohort. So everybody's at different maybe stages of the mastermind, but there are ways that we're coming into community together and learning from each other. And you're not only engaging with your cohort, you're also engaging with other cohorts. But the good news is that you're able to really mastermind and get in deep with me and your fellow cohorts. Um, and and so cohort is just a team. Consider it a team. It's just you enrolled and started on the same day inside the program, and so it gives you that kind of camaraderie from jump. So that's important. Uh, and if I had to answer one big major FAQ that people ask me about the program to see if it's a good fit, is who's it for? And it is for the entrepreneur turned mom or mom turned entrepreneur. Basically, you're a mom and you want to be a present, patient mom, but also a wildly successful entrepreneur. So, somebody who is making the kind of money they want to make, right? And that business is not just, hobby costing more than it's making you, right? You're netting more, you're netting more than expenses, right? So that's profit. So we want to make sure that we're constantly thinking about profit. You want to be wildly successful, right? We're dreaming big. We're not dreaming small. Like, we're not thinking small. We're not coming from a small place. But we do start small, right? We want to get super narrow and niche kind of in our focus so that we're not overwhelmed anymore, right? The overwhelm dissipates. It's like, vapor into the sky, and then a rainbow. I mean, honestly, this is how I see things happening. This is like my vision for any new cohort. And there's always something new, right? There's always like some new algorithm change or something that's got people shook, but it's not necessarily anything we need to be phased by, recession or otherwise. Like, we are in a safe place to discover that we are so much bigger than any of that. And yeah, I would say that's who it's for. If you want to be a patient, present mother and a wildly successful entrepreneur, the mastermind's for you. If you have any questions, just I'll put the link below this. You can look. Actually, there's a masterclass you might want to watch, and then I'll also link the page where you can book the call with me. First apply, and then that allows you to book a call with me. I'm screening the application. So the applications that get to me are the ones that have been screened, and they say yes, they're good to go. Meaning, like, you put a little bit of thought into the answers on the. It's not a long application. It's not crazy. Don't freak out, but uh, basically it gets to me because you are ready. You have the intent on getting on a call and really, you know, doing the work here, doing the work, right? Um, on yourself, on your business, for your family, for your future, for your prosperity. Um, Okay. So that wraps up the announcements. Again, ask me anything today, but yeah, we have so much to talk about. Just what came in, geez, I want to say the last couple weeks. We've had Felina asked a beautiful question: how do you get over bad days? I think this is uh, like important, very important. So thank you for that question. We got a question from Jim. How do I go from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset? And then I have an oldie but goodie that was asked again, and I just want to shout out the original um, question and asker because yeah, people are asking this question, but I'll save it for if we have time. Okay. I won't even tease it. It's just, if we have time, I'll go back to this old, old question I've answered before, but I'm not necessarily going to like point you to go watch the Clarity Hotline. I'll answer the question again because I get this question a lot. But anyway, we will hopefully get to that. No biggie if we don't. I'll answer it next week. But anyway, these ones I think are like really juicy. Like, let's definitely get into it. So, um, Philina asks, how do you get over bad days? I think like down days, they come with the territory of being human, right? In this human experience, we are going to experience down days. Like things just aren't going our way, or they're taking too long, or just emotionally speaking, like we just had a heavy heart lately. Things have happened. My grandma passed away a couple weeks ago, a little less than a couple weeks ago, and that's sitting on my heart. It's definitely like a peaceful feeling though because she's at peace, and I know that to be true because just from her journey in her last few months. It's good, right? We're all kind of celebrating her life, right? And the fact that she's no longer, in pain and things like that. There's definitely a peace, right? A sigh of relief there. But I think, yeah, I think with it comes a heavy heart, right? There's the funeral and the memorial, and um, you all the while want to celebrate this life, and then it also, um, just exposes the fact that life is short, time is ticking, right? If you kind of want to wallow in that idea, right, of kind of the end of times, but it doesn't have to be, right? It can absolutely be a celebration that, grandma chose to leave right now. Like she got what she came here for and she's ready to go. But when we experience those down days, I think what's big, there's so much we could talk about with down days because one, they're almost expected because it just is the cycle of life, right? Um, let's say you don't like winter because it's cold and dreary for where you live. Well, and you love summer because it's the opposite, the complete opposite. But chances are, that we need all of them. We need all the seasons. So it's not like you can banish one or hate one. It's going to come anyway. So I think and the people who live the best lives enjoy and embrace all the seasons. It's not so easy in Southern California to experience all the seasons or really know which season you're in at any point. But there are identifiers. And when you do experience these down days, like these winter months, for instance, like if that's what brings you down, there's an actual thing called seasonal depression, and it comes from kind of the gloom of the day, and the absence of sun, right, does do something to people. Vitamin D is a supplement for uh, you know high spirits, being happy because you know the sun is what gives us our vitamin D. If we're deficient there, we will feel down. And so it's like, biology is working its way in all of this, right? And so the down days just kind of invite us to rest, look within, slow down, take a beat, and right, and maybe assess what you were doing when you were going, and now it's like, okay, hold on, wait, you don't forget us, don't forget the slower times too that make all this still work. We need the slow and the fast. We need the winter and the summer. We need the sun and the moon. So, we are okay with that. Imagine, I mean, because there's that beautiful, is it from Hafez? How do you say it? Hafiz, I think. The poet, and he says, the sun, you know what? Let me not even credit any author. I'm not really even sure. But the quote is something like, "You never see the sun get mad at the moon, and and vice versa." Like it's a symbiotic relationship. They love each other. The sun loves the moon loves the sun, and we need all of that. We need the cycles. And so it's not necessarily we get over the bad days, but we just move through the bad days, but with awareness, right? With love and compassion and gratitude. And that is the trick, right? Gratitude, and I talked about this in weeks past, but gratitude is literally like the climb out from despair. It's the climb out from depression. It's the climb out from sadness and down days. So immediately when I'm feeling down and I know that, okay, well, emotionally, probably this is just is kind of the state of the day, and that's fine. But it doesn't have to be like the dominant feeling because my mindset is one of like, okay, I'm really grateful for this chance to just kind of be reverent about what's going on, to slow down, surrender more to what is and not fight it. And when I am experiencing kind of down days or things like, yeah, things aren't going my way, or what I thought was going to work didn't. And this is kind of what I'm feeling right now, like very maybe defeated. Then I can think of something immediately to be grateful for. I'm grateful for all the humor in my life, all the people who bring me like, jokes. I don't know, just make me laugh. And right now, a lot of that is my son. So I'm grateful for like how funny he is. I'm grateful for how smart he is, right? I'm his homeschooling coach, his learning coach. And I am witnessing like, whoa, he really is very smart. Like he knows a lot of things. And it's not an exposure in like this hour-long class. It's like exposure to little facts every now and again, right? Here and there, all around, all through the day. He's being exposed to new knowledge and soaking it up like a sponge and applying it when it's appropriate. It's very intelligent. And I just think about that on a day where I've got a lot going on and, his homeschooling still needs to get done. The hotline gets to still get done. And all these things that I want to do and he wants to do still get to get done somehow. If not today, we will factor them into future days. But just being present kind of with all the wants and the desires of the moment. And I I can snap into like a better feeling thought pretty immediately. And that is my saving grace, honestly, for not being the worry wart I used to be back in college. I remember I'd call home. I think I called my mom every single day of college for like the first year, maybe the first year and a half for sure. So into sophomore year, I was calling home just every day to check in. And I know that's a beautiful thing. And I know a lot of kids do call home, and I think it's great. I would not mind a call every day from my kids. I was calling not only, I guess, to share what's going on, and I love talking to my mom, but also like to hear her wisdom for how worried I was. And she'd always have these sage words of wisdom to offer me in like times of just me. I'm so worried about this and this and that, boy problems, school problems, bad grades, or math, just issues with my math classes. And yeah, I think just having a lot of doubt in myself, having a lot of doubt and as to my future and what the future held, and is this all going to work? I'm going to college for a reason. Is this working? Am I doing this right? I think we all kind of catch ourselves, right, in those thoughts. But now, because I mean, a lot of life has been lived so far. So I definitely come from having lived a life and been exposed to a lot, and I have enough life lessons to kind of keep me in the game, really, and not on the sidelines. Because I think the down days are kind of the sidelines where it's like we're just kind of I just want to observe right now. Just don't mind me. Just let me be in my bubble. Like don't bother me, and then I'll get in the game. But there's a way to stay in the game where you're just on the bench. You're just on the bench. You're not completely on the sidelines. You're still in. You're just on the bench. You're still taking part in the game. You're still catching what's going on, who's scoring and when and why and what to do next. And right there's kind of this witnessing to your life that's still happening even on the down days. And I think that's something to be really grateful for. And also When you're on the bench, maybe it's because, offense is out there and your defense, or you hurt your ankle and you just need to like give it a second. Or you're getting tired and you need some water and just a breather. And the coach knows that, right? The coach is in tune with you to like, I see you're playing a little off today. Let's get you on the bench and give you a second, then we'll put you in second quarter, whatever. And so there's all these thoughts, right, going on as to why. And God, right, is the ultimate coach. And so he knows more than we do. And so imagine us wallowing in self pity about something that he's like, wait, hold on. This wasn't meant to derail you. This was just data for what you want, right? I mean, I just wanted to show you, give you options here, and you choose. Tell me, you tell me. Is this, where do you want to go from here? Don't sit on the couch for weeks on end because you think I was doing something to you. No, I'm doing this for you. And you're to move through this with me. We're doing this together. And I think, yeah, we can feel alone in those moments. Like, yeah, God has abandoned us. And why have you forsaken me? Like there's when really he hasn't, right? God's never gone. He's always with us. He's always like leading us as long as we lead with love. We lead with grace. We lead with compassion for ourselves, first and foremost. I think when we're down and out, we do not feel a lot of compassion for ourselves. But it really starts with the compassion for, I guess, maybe our experience, and then we're able to give compassion to others, and then that compassion is a complete flip of the switch as far as your mindset goes, and your motivation to keep going. Just having compassion, and compassion is really holding space for people to just be, people just to be with the flaws and the failures and the things that really just suck, and then also to know that that's not who you are. That's just some of what is flowing through our experience right now. And it's not anything that you need to make your truth. It is just part of the process, part of the evolution. I guess it's like kind of when we talk about martial arts, like, and hitting my nose, right? It it doesn't feel great to get hit. But it's not like I'm going to avenge the pain with my son, like that wasn't a complete accident, and it hurt, and it's just pain that's there to be felt. Whoa, okay, I guess I needed to know what it feels like to have my nose hurt because one day I'm gonna have to feel a lot of compassion for him, say when something hurts on him, and you are it's easier when you are present with all the life experiences, all the feels of life, so the good and the bad. Um, and I really just mean the good and the shadow, because I think we're blocking the light, blocking the good that flows. That there, and we label it bad. We label it bad because we think good is no longer there when good is always still present, even in the bad. It's just we're not seeing it. The only good flows. So when I say, yeah, like the good and the bad, there's the room for everything. There's room for you to see how you might be blocking your blessings. I heard a beautiful thing long ago, and it stuck with me forever. Was it from no, I think it was from a pastor. It wasn't from Steve Harvey, but he said a lot of good quotes too. But it was from a pastor that pain is to show us the distance we are from God. And what that means to me is, so when we feel the pain, we can sit in the pain and feel distant from God, because the pain is what we're focused on when it hurts. And that does feel like we're alone and not with God. But the pain, for as long as we choose to feel it, um, just kind of exposes where we can invite God in. Because the minute we bring God in, then there's a breath. There's a breath. There's the blood that flows with the oxygenated breath. The white blood cells that come and do their work of repair, and right, the body is alerted to action. Like, okay, hold on, let's all, and then that's beautiful, right? That the body kind of comes together to support the nose feeling better. Um, or the black eye, you got punched, elbowed in a basketball game, whatever it was that did it, we could wallow in the fact that it happened, the pain we feel about it, or like it's psychological. There's a psyche around recognizing, okay, here's the pain, but back to God. Back to God I go. Back to the truth of what I know, that I'll be okay. Back to the truth of what I know, how it feels to not be in this kind of pain. And the sooner I focus on not being in pain, the sooner I come out of pain. Um, so many of us want to catapult to kind of like that higher state, I guess, that next identity, that next level self, without appreciating where we are now, because this is also part of the journey. This is also part of it. Everything we're going through is for a reason, and we do make the meaning. We do make up the meaning on purpose for a reason. We make the meaning. I think that's what we do. We just seek to make meaning about our experiences, and so we get to make the meaning. And all the experiences are just helping us kind of formulate our meaning making machines, and having them get better and better, and well oiled, and um, at the ready when we need them to move from the low vibration to a higher vibration, the bad feeling to a better feeling thought that brings us out of the bad feeling, or the bad, like, the bad vibe. I think there is kind of like, it's true, like the energy around uh, a negative feeling thought, a thought that has you feeling negatively toward yourself or others, judgment, complaining, gossip, um, greed, guilt, uh, grief, anger. mm, We said judgment. Uh, those feelings, or that's just a thought. These are thoughts that are charged with an energy, and whenever we think those thoughts, we're reminded of the energy they bring to us, and we can stay in that energy, or we can let it move through. Just move through. Just walk through it like a cloud, right? A puff of smoke, and you just walk right through. You're not staying in the smoke. Like, you want to get to fresh air, uh, and it's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. Just move through it. So yeah, people say, like, feel it. You got to feel the feeling. Yeah, for sure. You got to feel the feeling. And imagine if you just stop there. Feel the feeling and don't judge it, don't label it, don't call it anything, don't make it a meaning. Don't make it mean something about yourself, right? Because you are in this driver's seat for making meaning of what this means. And it could mean nothing. It could mean it could mean to only give you the data for the journey ahead. Um, the information that you need to have deeper insight about how you want to show up next time. And basically, if you're feeling like somebody's thinking something bad of you, for instance, and you're like, stuck in feeling, "Oh, they hate me." And so that makes you not do the things you would really rightly feel like doing for your own walk in life, like pick up the phone and call them, or send a happy birthday card, but you can't because they're mad at you, and so you don't do it. And so meanwhile, they're not mad at you and wondering why you ghosted them. It's just like, the feeling, the what we're projecting out into the world as something happening to us, keeping us from something. We're giving all our power away, and we're saying that because you hate me, I'm not going to act in my true authentic big self. I'm going to hide. I'm going to block the light. Adam and Eve hiding, right? I'm going to hide from the light, not show myself, because I'm filled with guilt. I'm filled with um, shame, and I feel alone. And when I feel alone, I'm going to behave, right? If how I feel is what I define as being lonely and alone, then um I'm emoting that energy, right? So this is what's floating in my energy, and then I'm going to behave accordingly, because that belief breeds behavior. That belief before behavior. What I'm thinking on a regular basis about something becomes a belief, and then how I believe becomes my habits, my behavior. And obviously, right, behavior repeated over and over again become habits. And then we're mindless to the, um, I guess, just how we're behaving in the world, because it's a habit to just be this way. It's a habit to, when I think somebody hates me, to just cower, instead of have courage to just, hey, just want to address this with you. Are you mad at me? Imagine, right? Just squashing it right then and there, instead of, staying stuck in this idea that somebody is keeping you from yourself because they don't like you. So, and it does keep you from yourself because you're not being true to yourself. You think somebody doesn't like you, so you're not fully expressing yourself there. And so that particular relationship has been marred by just your belief, not even theirs, just yours. And if it turns out that, yes, they do hate you and they don't want anything to do with you, just you asking the question, "Are you mad at me?" and getting a yes, whoa, what freedom did that just give you? Freedom of knowing, freedom just being like, "Okay, well, I apologize." Freedom to offer forgiveness for yourself first, and ask for forgiveness, and then feel what it feels like to be forgiven. But really, because you forgave yourself, that's really um, the only thing you ultimately needed. But I think there is kind of a forgiveness of self, and even just asking, are you mad at me? Because you want the data, right? So yeah, we're walking into the pain, we're walking into the rejection, we're saying, I'm okay getting hit in the nose right now by you. One, because I love you and I'm not going to hold it against you. I am walking in because I chose this, and I chose this life, and I'm okay with what you say, because I'm clear-headed enough. I'm within um, my self, strong and poised and confident that what I want will be drawn to me. What doesn't belong in my life will fall away, right? And I'll gladly let go what does not fit, what does not serve, what does not lift me up. And if after I ask the question, do you hate me? And I get a yes response, then I know that I can, move forward and choose to let something go there. Maybe it's that friendship. Maybe it's uh, the feeling that held over me, right? This kind of like gloom, that this block from the light, right? This cloud that kept the light from me, because I was holding on to something that didn't feel good, that I wasn't sure about, I didn't have clarity on. But the minute I seek clarity, the sun starts shining, right? And gives me the vitamin D, right? The nourishment, the energy that I need to kind of make that next step, right? That next big bold step. And that was just a relationship. Imagine in your business where you're blocked creatively, confidently, just maybe in your message, like, who are you talking to? Who are you serving? What are you saying? And what are you offering? All of that affects even just your positioning, your marketing. So all of that happens in business too. It happens with your kids. It happens with, everything and everyone, with yourself too, especially if you're in all of that, you're cutting yourself off from the light. Um, and that is the the saddest part about it, I think. Okay, so we are at almost maybe 10 minutes till the end, and then I could keep going on over on YouTube for our after hours. but we'll end Instagram at the hour mark. But we go on into YouTube. So if you want to hop over there, we do kind of a clarity hotline after hours where I kind of still riff, I take more questions, and it's just a YouTube exclusive with me so that we, get more time together. So you might want to hop on maybe some replays too, because I go into sometimes more of the answer kind of stuff I didn't say or I didn't get to or I wasn't thinking about yet, and then it comes to me. So I can always offer like more answers, but I won't necessarily. Um, I can't say that. I was going to say I won't necessarily answer a new question without Instagram on, but no, I probably will answer a new question if it's asked to me, and I do, and I have on YouTube after hours. That was submitted live. But I won't answer a pre-submitted question without Instagram on. Fair? Is that okay? But anyway, after hours over on YouTube, and same handle. Okay, so the next question is, so Jim, we have to wrap this one up kind of fast. So, but I think who knows, maybe we're answering this your question already in what we were saying. How do I go from a scarcity mindset to an abundant mindset? In a nutshell, scarcity is a self-fulfilling prophecy. We think in scarcity terms, we think small, we think lack, limitation, and then we get more small, lack, limitation. And so it's literally us just prophesying over our future, predicting our future in more lack, right? If we're coming from a place of scarcity and thinking like that, right? Thinking in a limited way, thinking small, inferior, uh, thinking maybe limited, like I'm stuck under even this pay ceiling in my job. That's scarcity thinking. There's something that you're not allowing yourself to feel limitless about because we are, as we come into these bodies, limitless. We literally can have anything we want as long as we remember one, it's already there to for the taking. You already have it in your experience. You just have to choose to see it. And really that happens first, right? It comes in, see it in the mind first, and then you can have it in the hand. Uh, so when we are thinking with a scarcity mindset, we are cutting off our access to source and the provider of all things. We're cutting off our sight of everything that is there for you to have. And it is everything. You can have everything. We get corralled and shepherded along the way for sure by other people, by the powers that be, whatever authority that is, from parents to teachers to law makers and law enforcers and all of that, and judges in court. Like we get moved, right? We're like patted on the butt to go this way and that way, and religion too, right? Churches patted on the butt to go this way, go that way, and we lose sight of kind of our own inherent power, our birthright, right? Our access that we were born with to all that we want, all that we can have, all that we can hold space for and choose to hold space for. And then we're just kind of like we have the blinders on. We only see what is happening in our 3D physical experience, when really we can always, even though what is happening right now here and now is just data for what's next, right? It's just the universe, God giving us options like, hey, this is what you are experiencing right now, good or bad, or yes or no, I guess better, because we just talked about good and bad, but yes or no. And you're like no or yes, and so you're choosing, right, the yes, and you're going toward the yes. That is abundance, and that's the better feeling thought, and that's the gratitude, right, the climb out from despair. um but but literally, like, we nothing comes into our experience and into our existence unless we put it there. So scarcity is a self-fulfilling prophecy in that we are fulfilling our thoughts. We're walking through what our thoughts have created. And it wasn't there, kind of this scarcity life, this impoverished life wasn't there until we pondered it into existence. We thought it true. And that again, right? Like I said, it's our upbringing. It's what we were exposed to at the time when we were most impressionable and didn't really know anything or much, I guess, about much. And so we with that with the limited, I guess, resources and knowledge on how this world works, like money, right? The things of really, truly this world, in this physical plane, has nothing to do with what we need in in eternity and on a soul spiritual level. It's very much just us living this life in these bodies, and that is what so much focus is on in schools and in churches and career. It's so much on, and this is the hamster wheel, right? You just keep riding this hamster wheel. Don't get off because then you'll see that there's so much more. I would rather you on this hamster wheel because then that means we're all kind of moving at the same speed, or sometimes we can speed up, but we're still kind of in the same place. We're still in this trance. We're still being hypnotized by the same thing, like, money, currency, and the dollar, and, the status and the promotional, the rank, the class, the tax bracket, right? We're still so conditioned by these things, and so that we can come up under them or we can be above them. And it really is just changing the belief. So how do we change the belief coming from scarcity going into abundance is the inner conversation. It's that dialogue inside your mind. Where are you saying I can't? Where are you saying I am not? All of those things the universe hears and is just presenting on a platter evidence for you to say yes or no to. Like, okay, oh, so you are not that? You are not worthy of this promotion at your job? Okay, then I'll prove you right. Uh, because, the universe, there's only you choosing what's right for you. There's no right or wrong. There's just you choosing what's right for you. And so what you choose, the universe is like, okay, yes. So that's right for you. Okay. And then we're just presented, right, in this walk of life, the contrast, the fork in the road, as I like to say. It's like we're at the fork in the road and we choose where to go, which path to take. And the best way to go about this and not feel scattered and spread thin and like we're leaving parts of ourselves behind in order to not rock the boat or keep this marriage together or keep this relationship working or stay with the steady paycheck at this job I hate. We collect ourselves at this decision point. We collect ourselves and all of the truth we know about ourselves and believe about ourselves, and we trust ourselves. So trust in ourselves, trust for ourselves. We're trusting that when we come together with ourselves, right, we collect ourselves, we can move forward all in the path of what's feels the best for us, what feels right. And so we take that path. And then what is drawn to us on the path of righteousness, that's just the right, you choosing the right path for you. What is drawn to you is more of what is right for you. And imagine all along the way, thank you for this, thank you for that, thank you for this, thank you God for this, oh my gosh, yes, thank you, this is exactly what I wanted, thank you God, this is exactly what I asked for, thank you. And I see a little bit of tweak here, a little bit of tweak there, and then, oh man, this recipe will be perfect, I'm going to be so in love with my life. I am already in love with my life, but even more so, right? I mean, going to be even more in love with my life because look what's going to be drawn to me because I'm literally just putting it out there and saying yes to this. And the universe is like, okay, your wish is my command. And so knowing that we do have access to that power, that creative power of creating our own reality, our own future, why would we want to stay living and thinking in scarcity, right? We would choose abundance every single time. I think we just forget it. And so it's just this is your reminder that you can go from scarcity to abundance with just a thought. Whatever that thought is, it's in your mind. It's that inner conversation, that dialogue that you are talking to yourself, your self talk. So, for sure, talk to your kids in this way so that their self talk is supported by that trust within themselves, that trust for themselves, that inner knowing that all this is just my belief, right? And I can choose to believe, you know, whatever feels better. And just by choosing whatever feels better, literally I'm getting better in return. But yeah, the outer world is made. This is something that Neville Goddard says. The outer world is just the past made visible. What you see is just from the desires of the past. So what we put out there in the past is now our current day experience until we change some aspect of that experience. We tweak it. We change some aspect of our experience just by now asking for something new, something different, some way, somehow different, right, than what we're experiencing now. But what we are experiencing is everything we've asked for in the past. Everything we've asked for so far, we're just being met with like uh the the I guess so we've asked for it, the fulfillment, the receiving of it, the receiving of what we've asked for. We're receiving that in our physical experience, in our with our eyes, we can see it and touch it, hold it, and then from here we can make the decision. So from here we're at that fork in the road. From here we make the new decision to advance toward, right, to pursue what feels even better than this. And that is a good um, physiological, biological, psychological thing, emotionally charged thing. Like, right, we're literally when we lead with the heart, like when we lead with the gut and the heart, and they're working in unison, and we're like being pulled in that direction, then that's like this so on a soul level, the right path to take. And so we're gonna always feel fulfilled and without regret. And it's when we start feeling those feelings of the low vibration feelings like regret and shame and isolation, right, and despair, that we can recognize, okay, well, what's doing this, right? What am I doing here? What's doing this? The energy, right? What is doing this? My behavior. What is doing this? My reaction is making me feel this kind of way. And so just right then we're isolating it, right? We see it, we notice it. Um we take some time for introspection, and then it's like, okay, oh, I pinpointed what I don't love about this and what I would love actually. So I would love to see, XYZ. And it is just literally the jumping off point from the past, and what's been created from that, right, to a new experience. And yeah, it's already done. I mean, if you say it and you see it in your mind's eye, it's already done. It's just a matter of time that it comes into fruition. Um, okay, I'll get to that. I'll go ahead and close out with Instagram, and then we'll continue over here on YouTube with the comments here and the after hours. So thanks for coming on. If you want to jump over to YouTube, you know where to find me at Declutterist, and I'll see you there. But again, today is the last day for this cohort. We close at midnight tonight for this cohort. To be considered for this cohort, remember I keep my cohort small and intimate. So if we max out, we'll just look at a different cohort for you, but um, that is in several months' time. So to work with me, this is how to do it. Now, you can submit your application for the cohort today by midnight and still be considered for the cohort. So that's what at least you want to do, is submit your application. And I'll put the link below so you can comment MEM, and I'll send you the link so that you can check it out, learn more, and apply if you want to. Also, it's the way to book a call with me to ask me more questions or just tell me about your situation, what you'd like to create in the next 6 months for your business, for yourself, for your family, for your future, for your legacy. And then I can help you with a clarity launch plan, right? A 90-day blueprint for how to get there. And I think that wraps us up. Clarityhotline.com to submit your question for next week. And yeah, if you're over on YouTube, if you're going to check out after this hour, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow all the things. Okay. All right, fam. IG, we out. I'll see you next week. Thanks for coming on. Peace. Okay, so let's get in. I wanted to share just another couple things in this after hours. You already heard the announcements, so we're good. Um, we can just chat and riff a little bit more on this idea of scarcity into abundance. So Neville says something around along the lines of the outer world is the past made visible. What you see is from the desires of the past. It's already done. Your business is with the world you are about to enter. So now, right in this present moment, now we get to choose. Now we're in our power. We're at choice. We get to choose what is being shaped from here, right? Right now, these conversations in our head are shaping what comes after this, what comes next. And honestly, the minute we feel into that and it does lighten our now and raise the vibration now and brings us more present, more clear, more joyful now, then you know what's being created is just more of that. And imagine envisioning from there and doing, a vision board um, exercise or some type of ritual or ceremony that kind of like puts you puts you in the driver's seat um, like uh, for creating what's next, right? I wanted to say like makes you be able to predict the future. You're the psychic. You are in the psychic seat, and you're predicting your own future. It really that is from clarity. That's from clear seeing. It's called clairsentience. Um, Oh man, I'm blanking. Clairsentience is what I have. But there's clairvoyance. Clairvoyance is clear seeing, and we actually all are all psychic. We all have clairsentience. We all have clairvoyance. It's what we choose to hone. I particularly love to feel into my body for my guidance, and so that's clairsentience, clear sensing. But yeah, clairvoyance. I mean, all a psychic did, right, to put a shingle on the storefront is that says psychic or psychic reader hand on the window. It was honing this clairvoyance, spending time tapping into intuition, testing it out, trying it on people, right? Trying it out on people and saying, "This is what I see for your future. Is there any truth to that? Any relevance? Is any resonance?" And then yes or no, and then you kind of just keep refining, keep honing. Because I took some psychic classes from an intuitive reader back in the day, and I was very enlightened into the process for just honing our innate skills, our innate um, uh, um, hmm, our innate ability to see clearly the answers for ourselves. I think that's really what we want, right? Just clear answers for all the questions that are confusing us and holding us back and keeping us stuck. And that is why the Clarity Hotline was born, by the way. So anyway, yeah, I wanted to just at least close that thought. I think it's really important. We're not staying on too much longer for after hours because I already went into my little diatribe about MMA and martial arts and fighting and walking into pain. I think I think that would have probably been more of an after hours conversation, but yeah, it was so like recent that and I was feeling my nose like putting these glasses on. I was like, "Oh man, wearing these today, I can feel them." Because yeah, I just feel really sore. I still feel sore, and it's like the nose I hear is the longest thing to heal. And I know I've had something. Oh yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, after my accident, ooh, when I was rear-ended, my face went into the steering wheel and I hit my nose and I thought it was broken. Oh, the blood. Ugh. But anyway, the doctor told me it was the longest like body part to heal, or one of the on the face, maybe. I don't know. I don't want to say that because I don't really know. But he did say like the longest part on the face to heal or something. I feel like it's the longest. No, I bet it's like the longest um, body part to heal. Let's ask. Let's ask chat. Cartilage. Yeah. Why certain tissues heal slowly. Cartilage lacks blood vessels and nerve supply, meaning it relies entirely on slow joint fluid flushing. Okay, well that makes sense. We're just talking about blood and the blood cells, coming to the rescue, but uh yeah, the nose takes years to like get back. And it did. It took a long time for my nose to feel like not sensitive after that accident, that car accident. And my car was totaled. I mean, it's just ugh, awful. But anywho, yeah, so that's my story about the nose and mixed martial arts and why we walk into pain and and yeah, it's intense, the pain, right, when you hit your nose. It's intense, and I think when you hit your ear too, and probably, like, any genitalia also hurts, but I think we have nerve cells going there, but then the eardrum is cartilage, and then that could pop, and that hurts, and you could pop an eardrum and lose your hearing. I mean, just so many things, right? Whew, to be present to and to be fully aware of and to feel into and to feel the senses that want to come out when we are present with what we are feeling, all that energy that could be bottled up, but you're not going to let it bottle up. You're going to let it flow. You're going to move right through it, and you're going to allow the healing powers to take over because you are definitely tapped into the source of what it means to be healed because you're already healed. You're just blocking the healing from coming, from being. All right. We'll end it there. Thanks for coming on. Thanks, you too. See you next week. Peace.